Hi everyone, my name is Martha. I'm a relationship counselor and clinical sexologist. And in this video, I want to review this book that I received 2 days ago. It's a new comic book and they call it tragedy comedy book. And the title is a drip, a drop, a deluge. So pardon my English, but I really didn't know what deluge meant. So I had to look it up, and I actually even couldn't pronounce the word deluge. I had to look it up. And so what is deluge? Deluge actually means it's a transitive verb, which means to overflow with water, to overwhelm, swarm. So I'm not sure, they're trying to make it funny, like at some point your menstruation will be a drip, a drop as you reach perimenopause, and also a deluge, like an overflow. And I'm sure all of us have had our episodes of feeling that there's an overflow and it gets all over onto our clothes, for those of us who menstruate. And it definitely is one of the fears that I have every month of staining my underwear and clothes. Okay, but a bit of a TMI here. So it literally says on the cover, a period tragedy comedy by, okay, I'm not sure how to break down the name and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm so sorry, but it's N-E-Z-N. Okay, it's A-N-D-E-A-S-Y-A-N-D. So this is the name of the writer and the illustrator. This book actually contains 6 tales of 6 different people around their menstruation. And it was published this year by publisher Difference Engine. Difference Engine is the publisher of this book. And this is the style of the illustrations. It's really pretty. I love the colors and I love the thought and love and care that must have gone into this book. So this is the photograph of the author and the illustrator. I have to say that this book is beautiful. And it actually came with a surprise, some gifts that came with the book. It came with an animal pin that you can wear and put on your bag and, claim your menstruation. It came with a postcard, how we synchronize with the moon, although there's no mention of it in the book. And it has all these different stickers that you can use, and you can paste it in the book, and you can paste it on, I guess, anywhere, including on your laptop. So now into the book itself. Let me just read the cover, okay? What do newspapers, bread, cosmic changes, and the uterine lining have in common? A drip, a drop, a deluge, a period tragedy comedy takes us on a journey through the eyes and wombs of 6 different women, from the girl who is experiencing her first ever period to the lady going through menopause, and how they and the people around them experience their monthly cycles. Menstruation is an intimately personal yet shared experience that can sometimes be hard to talk about candidly, but it's time to put menstruating bodies at the heart of the conversation. So just to make it clear, it is their stories, and they use different words to refer to the period, which coming from the lenses of a Singaporean, myself included, we are multicultural and multi-religious. So we do use different words to be synonymous with the period. So here it starts off with every chapter, little, before they go into every, I guess chapter, and have a picture like this. So it talks about Ruby and your period came, I guess. Then call your mas and aunts and call your marks and aunts and say your period came. So basically it's telling people in their lives that their first period came and this is what you do. And yeah, not going to read everything, but essentially it's it's about how this person's period is affected and how you can wrap your sanitary pad in it. Okay, and they basically talk about different people, like, you know, going to sick bay, or this person say, oh, your auntie come also. So auntie is another word for period. So interwoven with each chapter, they try to give a bit of information. Like here, it talks about period fashion, how period fashion has evolved, although it doesn't say too much about when exactly. There are 2 references to date, so it's not that accurate, I guess. And another one talks about clogs and tampons. And here, like Rita's map, like, you know, when you have your period, you're trying to figure out like where you can go to clean yourself, to change your pad. And so it's like kind of a map. And here it talks about menstrual cup, how to get a menstrual cup that is of the right size. And there are some references to what you can do to take care of yourself during your period, like balancing your life. Nothing is forever. So even when you're having your menstruation and you're not feeling good, then you need to rest. Okay, it mentions like syncing with the moon, and our period is also known as moon time in some cases, and actually a lot of our periods actually synchronize with the moon. It is considered a sacred time, but there's no mention of it. There's just like a picture of the moon and that's it. Morphine time, talking about like when it's really bad and how some people turn into a monster, how it affects people in their lives. And then when you've had your food, then danger averted. It talks about how someone might look physically through the month, through the 28 days of the month, how they're feeling, but it doesn't actually talk about the purpose of the menstruation. It does not cover why we have periods. It does not come from a place of positivity. It comes from their stories and that's it, but there's no other message behind it. Then the last story comes to when someone is having their menopause, and it says here, you have reached post-menopause, hot flashes, fully functional brain, long dance party. Yeah, it's something you can celebrate, and then you can fuck the world. Thanks for coming to the party. It's been a while. It's almost like saying like, thank goodness it's over. But there's really nothing here I feel that is really educating, like the importance of menstruation, how it's something that shows that you are in your reproductive years. It doesn't talk about the sacredness of it. I understand maybe they don't want to focus on the spiritual aspect of it, which is fine. But how about the facts around menstruation? It's not really there. It's just stories of 6 people, and it's all written, illustrated in a pretty, like, in their way, in their voices. But I also don't see anything like really positive and empowering about it, like to say it's like it's a rite of passage, you have come of age, you now can have baby if you want to. It doesn't say any of that. And so as a sex educator, when I looked at it, remember I'm a sex educator, okay? So everything that I do is about educating people. So I don't see anything really empowering and really positive about it. And it is something that I was very excited to get because, you know, the moment it came out, I bought it because I love this kind of little books because I can use this in sessions to heal and also share like messages around sexuality and in this case menstruation. So I was really looking forward to something like that I can share with my clients, but I don't see anything like really empowering and positive about it that to change the what is already out there. Why would I want to share something that is already everybody is thinking this is a curse, it's an inconvenience, it's torture, it's a burden, I turn into a monster every month. Like, why do I want to share this with someone like this, my clients, when yes, it's true, but are we going to create alternative messages around our menstruation? Are we going to share anything remotely, okay, remotely positive about our menstruation? Just even if it's just a little bit, and I don't see any of it there. I don't even see the purpose of our menstruation are covered in this book, and I can see like younger women drawn to this book because it's a comic and actually wanting to get information for themselves around their menstruation. Like, how do I explain menstruation to, say, somebody who doesn't have it, or how do I explain it to like my boyfriend who doesn't have it, and what are the symptoms to look out for, and what are the things that I need to better take care of myself during. I understand this book is not about education. This book is the story, is the tales of 6 people, but I don't see anything like really positive about it. So it is a book that I would love to love, but it's not a book that I can see has any educational aspect. So what I want to say is it is created with love. I can see it's created by well-meaning people to debunk and to demystify a lot of negative messages we have around our menstruation, and to bring about more dialogue around our menstruation. I can see that, but I don't see the positive and the educational aspects of our menstruation in this book, not much. And so it's very difficult for me to want to share it with clients, and definitely how about younger people who already think really negatively about their menstruation, because it's true that during your menstruation you have cramps and it is an inconvenience and you can stain your clothes. But beyond that, like, what is the purpose of it? How about like it's a time of your month that you need to honor yourself and slow down, and treat it as a time to go inwards and listen to your body, and see if you can block out time in your month to be a bit more gentle with yourself. And because I use this time as a great time to reflect, so I actually mark it on my calendar, and I actually try to block out those days so that I can really just take it slower, because life is tiring to just keep rushing all the time. So anyway, these are my thoughts about this book. And coming from the perspective as a sex educator, I would have to say it was a disappointment. And I'm not going to share this with clients. But I still wanted to make this video because for those of you who are thinking of getting this book, like, you can actually accompany this book with other messages that are more positive, that can supplement this book. And usually I try to never say anything negative about anything, because I feel that this is the work of people, whether it's sex toys or books or videos. I try not to be negative about it, because there are so many negative messages out there. What more for people who are doing the work? So I really try not to, but I really am having difficulties trying to love this book. So this has been Martha of Eros Coaching, and understand this book is supposed to be like a tongue-in-cheek. It's supposed to be funny. You're supposed to like have a laugh at your period, and this is our right. You know, it's our right to laugh at our periods. But what about the damage it can cause to some of the other people reading this book? What about it's perpetuating more hatred of our periods? And the more we hate our periods and we hate our bodies, we are also perpetuating more pain and more negativity in our lives. This is my personal opinion, and feel free to disagree. So yeah, thanks for watching this video.